You are now watching the Queen Chioma. So hey guys, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is going to be a Chioma Chats video podcast edition. And by today's title, you can see we're going to finally be talking about Doja Cat. So I really do apologize for how long it took me to get this video out. I know everyone has already said what they needed to say, but I always like to wait and see what a celebrity is going to respond in response to whatever they did. And also, it's just been very weird with everything going on, me being a recent college graduate and just wanted to take time for myself. But nonetheless, the video was going to get made, and I'm glad that I waited because it allowed me to really look at all of the facts, her response, and then insert my own opinions. So before we get started, I did want to address some things real quick. Number one, spammers. I don't care if you want to promote your channel or your brand on my page, but post one comment and keep it pushing, okay? Do not come on my video that I worked so hard and try to engage the audience that I worked so hard to get and write 50 plus comments about your channel and posting your link or whatever it is. That's just not how to get views or subscribers, and it goes straight to my spam account. Anything in my spam account gets deleted, especially when I keep seeing your comment, and I just don't feel like that's fair. Write one comment. Some people can support it if they want to, but don't continuously try to keep posting your link because it's going straight to my spam folder and it's not doing your brand or your channel any service. Number two, be respectful to me as a content creator. I don't know why some people feel entitled to tell me what to post on my channel. Okay, YouTube is free and there is no subscription fee to my content. You can find everything you want to hear about on so many other channels, and I really encourage y'all to support other creators, especially those who are smaller than me or up and coming. Death doesn't get discussed on my channel unless I really think I can talk about it. Please stop telling me that I, as a black person who is pro-black, must discuss the Ahmaud Arbery situation or the George Floyd situation. I don't talk about death, and I never said I was pro-black, okay? I talk about things that relate to the lives of young black women from a more social standpoint. I am aware of a lot of things that go on. I'm very active on Twitter if you want to follow me on there so we can have those conversations on that platform. But on my YouTube channel, I just don't want to talk about that. There are plenty of content creators that talk about those things. I respect some of you wanting to know my opinions on things, but sometimes I don't have a developed opinion on everything. I think things are sad, but I just don't want to make a video. So please do respect that. And lastly, please make sure you are subscribed to me. I realized that YouTube unsubscribed me from Lovely T's channel. I was just wondering why I was not getting any of her videos in my subscription box for like a week or two. So I went and checked, and of course, Susan Waterjexski, who is the CEO of YouTube, had me unsubscribed. So please check and turn on the notifications for my channel, because now that I'm out of college and I have a lot more time to devote to the Queen Chioma YouTube channel and brand, I want to make sure that all of you guys that are true fans and supporters get first dibs on everything that I'm doing. So let's get started with this video. So initially, it wasn't that I didn't want to talk about Miss Doja Cat. It wasn't that I didn't care to talk about Miss Doja Cat, but I just knew something was a little bit off, okay? I liked her music, but I was never invested enough into her to know how I felt about her personality alone. After watching several videos and doing my own research, I've learned that Doja Cat is a weirdo, okay? Like, she's just so weird. She's very hypersexual, not even in a sexy way that I even would like, but just in a nasty, trashy, weird-ass girl kind of way. So I'm gonna break down what has transpired as it relates to Miss Doja Cat, because not only have some of y'all flooded my DMs and comments asking me to talk about her, but for the first time in a while, when it comes to a viral story, I am actually very shocked, and that's pretty serious coming from someone like me who has done countless videos on racist, cooning, and weird-ass celebrities on my platform. So just some background, Doja Cat, was born Alamaratna Dalamini and is known professionally as Doja Cat. She was born in October of 1995, making her 24 years old as of the recording of this video. I was actually shocked to know that she was that young, because yes, I'm 22 years old, and I usually assume most people in the media are way older than me, but I'll be 23 in July, and her and I are not far off in age, meaning this girl should know better. So she rose to fame in 2018 when she released a music video for her song Moo, and it went viral. So I'm sure you all know by now what this woman has done, but she has recently been outed as a racist, sexually fetishized by white incels, which are white supremacist men who exist on an online platform, anti-black, and really the whole 10 yards of being a coon. Not 9 yards, but 10. I had to give her an extra point because she's really nutty. So she decided to be an active user on TinyChat with white supremacists who allowed her to call herself the N-word with the hard R at the end, sexualize her, and pretty much aid her to be self-hating as she actively participated in what I like to call only clans. Okay, not only fans, but only clans, because it seems like the KKK Klansmen are the leaders of some of these groups. Not to mention, this is all pretty recent. This isn't from 5 years ago. This isn't from, many years ago. This is literally from 2 weeks ago, where fans have been able to show correlation from outfits that she wore to shows and appearances and on her regular Instagram live that she then wore in her OnlyClans video chats. So I've looked through Twitter, I've looked through other people's videos, and I just wanted to give y'all my take on this situation because it's actually very appalling and the lava hot tea is needed. So I've broken down my video into 4 main talking points, so let's get right into this video. So point number 1 is mixed people are not black. Now, the reason why I start off with this is because Doja Cat is a prime example as to why I do not consider mixed people black. If you come out of a white vagina, I'm sorry, but no, because no, and the fuck no, okay? People love to tell me, well, mixed people can identify as black, so they're black. Look, y'all, you can identify as a lampshade for all I care. It does not make you a lampshade. There are people who are black, but identify as so many different cultures because your skin does not always have to correlate with what culture you identify with. There are black Africans, black Jamaicans, black Haitians, black Americans, black Latinas, all the same race, but identify with different cultures, right? So to me, and I may be wrong, but I don't think I am, although in most cases, skin color does usually create direct relation to a culture or a race, it doesn't always have to. That's the number one argument I get when people try to tell me that a biracial person of black and white composition is black. Identification. Yes, you may identify with one side more than the other based on your life experiences and your upbringing, but what sense does it make to neglect the other side of you when you have the luxury of being exposed to both sides? That's unique to me, and it's something to be proud of being a biracial person. Now, I don't know how many times I have to break this down. I probably said it 5 or more times on this channel, and I'll keep saying it until it gets through the dense ass heads of some people, but if you take a blue piece of clay and a red piece of clay and you mix it together, you get purple. A new product that creates a homogeneous mixture. Did some people not learn the difference between heterogeneous and homogeneous mixtures in middle school science, or was that just me? A homogeneous mixture cannot be separated because once the 2 products or more mix, they form a new product. That's basic science. To make it even simpler, the way how we love to call dogs purebreds or mutts is the same concept. You don't breed a cocker spaniel and a poodle and refer to it as a poodle. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Now does it? It now becomes a cockapoo. So I don't know why some bozo brain humans don't get this concept. I even consider a person who has a biracial black and white mother and a full black dad a black person just because of the extreme majority of genetical composition, not physical composition. I don't really care what you look like. Okay, if you came out of a white vagina or if you came from a white penis, you were biracial, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now you may be thinking, why is she talking about this? Okay, what does this have to do with anything? And it's because Coon Cat is a biracial girl who identifies with her white side and has always identified with her white side, who has never met her black dad and was raised solely by her white mother. So her identification is white according to the way how she acts, her interests, her upbringing, and herself. See, when you can play both sides and can do both, you are not just one, you are both, okay? There is nothing wrong with being biracial. And I know some head ass is going to say, well, none of us are 100% black. Well, duh, okay? But when has being 85% African, 15% whatever else stopped you from saying you're black? It has not. So don't deflect and state the obvious because that's not a pliable concept in this argument. So moving along. I can tell she operates on superiority complex because in black spaces, Coon Cat is seen as prettier, more desirable, and just better than your phenotypical black girl because she has the ambiguity within her to fit in just about anywhere. So with Coon Cat, there has been a comment that was made in which she said that she doesn't like being black, but at least she's light-skinned and thick, which basically means at least I'm the upper end of being a person of color or being seen as a black person. I also came across a tweet that said, thinking about being black can make any sensible person depressed. Like, just think about it. Wouldn't being white make so much more sense? Life would have value. Now, I'm not saying this is the mindset of all mixed or biracial people because I know that is so far from true. That is very false. But this is the mindset of someone who definitely hates their black half and acknowledges that she is both and not just one. I think every mixed person cannot negate the fact that they are someone composed of 2 races, and she is just a prime example of this. There's nothing wrong with being biracial no matter what composition that is. But I have to point this out because when you play both sides, and some days you can pass this either or even if you can't, but you can reap the benefits of being someone of 2 races, i.e. being promoted in a space that isn't yours to begin with, then no, you are not black, you are not white, you are biracial. Many biracial people speak as if they are other, as if they are not black, they're not white, but they are other. Not all, but a lot of people know when to use it, and their oppression doesn't match the same ones that actual black women face, and that's facts. I genuinely want to know why biracial people do not like to be called biracial. Why do you want to be black? Do you hate your white half? Is it embarrassing? I just want to know why. But in this case of Doja Cat, she's biracial, she's not black, and the reason why I'm making this a point is because later on in her apology, she claims to be a black woman, but we'll get to that in the final point. So point number 2 is the tweets. So this is the main thing that was actually really riling up everybody on the internet. The racism was extreme in her actual tweets, and like I said before, if you're up and coming or famous, either restart your Twitter or go in and do a certain search for certain keywords and delete tweets. It's so easy for anyone to do an advanced search of you or another user's account and to find old crazy tweets just like that, okay? I know a lot of us said some crazy things as young teens teens or even a few years ago, do the advanced search, type in the triggering words, and clear up your reputation now. Now, with all the tweets said by Coon Cat, she not only attacked black people, but she definitely attacked different races and other ethnic groups. So let's take a look. So in her tweet from July of 2015, she said, "At F Tyler and at Earl X Sweet, you are both." Now, this to me is a little bit 50-50 because one, she shouldn't be using that F word, okay? We just don't want to say that word anymore. We know it's very offensive to people within that community. The other part of me is like, maybe you said this just to throw shade back at someone that disrespected you. I feel like still, get rid of that tweet. You shouldn't be calling people that. I don't use that word ever anymore. I really don't use that word. I don't like it. The next tweet says, "I called a couple people the F word when I was in high school in 2015. Does this mean I don't deserve support? I said the F word roughly 15,000 times in my life. Does saying the F word mean you hate gay people? Do I hate gay people? I don't think I hate gay people. Gay is okay." Now, I don't understand what she was trying to say here because it's like, I don't think I hate gay people. Either you do or you don't. You don't think that you do. You don't think that you do not. You either do or you don't. I'm not saying that word means that you hate that whole group of people. But let's put it in the context of using the N-word. If a white person or someone that should not be using the N-word says the N-word, especially with a hard R at the end, everyone's going to assume that you're a racist because you know the power that comes behind those words. So if you're going to use the F word, especially in a time in 2015 where you're in high school, which I don't believe someone who was 24 now was in high school in 2015 because I'm 22 and I graduated high school in 2015. So I don't believe that she was still in high school. I believe she was at least 2 years graduated from high school. So let's cut the malarkey there, but okay, so she says. Now in this final tweet that I wanted to show you guys, it says, "I hate those Arab people who work at gas stations. Like, go back to the Middle East and blow up a car or something, LOL." Which was made in 2016, which means that she happened to be about what? She had to have been about like 21, maybe 20 or 21 when she said that. And to me, any 20 or 21-year-old knows not to say some of those things. So as you can see here, the reason to mark her as a racist is not just because she feels superior to those within the two races that compose her, but even to the people that she doesn't have any racial correlation to. This would be different if she was 14 when she wrote stuff like this because people change from when they were in primary school, middle school, high school, but this girl felt this way as of recent. I cannot excuse or give passes to a grown woman who knows how big her influence is, her fame is, and still chooses to participate in bullshit and malarkey. When you're a global star, especially as an ambiguous one that subsequently falls into so many racial categories, you don't play with race, okay? You don't play with race ever. And for her PR team to be trying to do damage control, why is it that PR teams are representing people and not taking the initial precautions to look through the previous social media presence of their clients and cleaning up? Like what? Like, you can issue a bogus ass statement to double back on statements that were clearly made, but cannot do the initial work to make sure your client is not racist or bigoted or anything that would hurt their reputation. I'm not saying PR teams are to blame, but it's your job nonetheless. It's not hard. Now let's discuss the Didn't Do Nothing tweet or the Didn't Do Nothing song. I'm sure all of you get the gist about what the outrage surrounding the Didn't Do Nothing tweet means, but just to clarify, I found a tweet that explains it. So someone said, "Didn't do or didn't do nothing is a racist slur short for didn't do nothing, which white racists used to describe black criminals. It derived from their assertion that when caught, black people always say, 'I didn't do nothing.'" And then someone else said, "And didn't do nothing is a deep cut of racism. You gotta dig deep in the depths of hashtag father, hashtag husband, hashtag patriot Twitter to reach didn't do nothing territory. Like if they dropped a Now That's What I Call Racism Volume 34 album, you have to fast forward to 3 minutes and 34 seconds after the last track to get it." So Mrs. Coon Cat decided to take an insensitive approach that hurt a series of public racial situations, but then had the nerve to post on Twitter the other day that we should be donating to the GoFundMe of the recently passed George Floyd. Is she serious? Like, do you think you can play that fake ass damage control by using your recent racial fuck up to garner the support of the demographic of black people who are actually being affected and care about the police brutality and the murder of black people? I'm not saying that because someone is not black that they cannot be sensitive, because there have been people of all races advocating, protesting, expressing their disdain for what happened to George Floyd, but we do not need fake support from a woman who referred to herself as the N-word with the hard R and has a history of appealing to white supremacists and telling white men to put a funnel in her booty hole and pour something in it. Because that's what she did. We do not need your self-hating, diluted, and delusional ass to speak, okay? Do not post nothing telling us to donate to anything at all when you yourself, just a week ago, were exposed for disrespecting black people. That's not gonna work here. This is why it's a problem when people want to play on the side of their superiority of being half white. But then when you need the black support, you try to garner that inauthentically. If you're mixed and you claim to be black, be about that black life then, okay? Don't choose when you want to be a race. This is why I said you can be both white and black and create your own space for your own issues. and still be a respectable ally, but that's not the case for Mrs. Didn't Do Nothing, okay? You're mocking the natural vernacular of some black people and making a mockery of it for the sake of your own monetary gain and entertainment for honestly white and or racist people. Because to me, what black person that knows the real meaning of Didn't Do Nothing would support that song? I heard something in someone else's video claiming that black men were behind the song, and I call complete horse shit. She came out and apologized for the song, okay? She did that song. It wasn't no black man's fault for the song. It wasn't anything like that. It wasn't trolls that put the song together. That was her, okay? She claimed that people used to make fun of her and talk badly about her, so that's why she was on the Tiny Chats, or excuse me, the Only Clans, and they talked about her features, and that the song was a response to get back at them and regaining her power. And no, okay? Because no. I got bullied through high school, and I would never say I'm going to regain my power by starting to bully other girls and, you know, just basically bullying other girls at school. This is not the case where you fight fire with fire. Like, no, okay? Because no. Since apparently this all started from Lana Del Rey's message that she put out talking about the current state of women in music and the perception of what her music is and versus other female artists, Coon Cat decided to respond and say, gang sunk a dunker, meaning so many meetings, the most common perception being that her group of fans destroyed whoever came for her, in this case, Lana Del Rey. I didn't take this as racist, maybe because there were so many different perceptions of the meaning, but I don't know, it was pretty nutty to respond to someone who didn't even come for you. Like, she could have just shut up and ate her food. But now look at her, getting dragged and exposed. This is why you mind the business that pays you, but I'm glad her tweets and her underlying feelings about blacks and other demographics of people have been exposed. At least now we know. Now moving on to point number 3, daddy issues. I'm really tired of this excuse, okay? It has been said that Coon Cat's dad is a famous African actor from South Africa and that they did not have a relationship and that this is the reason why she acts the way that she acts. Well, number one, this can be very true. Like, if you have not been exposed to your African or black side, of course you're going to be a bit insensitive or unknowing to that side because you just don't know. But this woman is 24 years old, okay? Grow up, seek a therapist, and stop making excuses for grown people doing wrong. Doja Cat is not the only woman who grew up without a dad. A lot of you watching me come from single parent households where your mom was the one who did everything and raised you to be who you are. And a lot of people who were raised in single parent households end up to be law-abiding, good, respectful citizens. So not having a father in your life or not having a certain parent does not automatically equate you to being a disrespectful, racist person. It's to the point where you as an adult have to take accountability for your interactions with things that may have hurt or hindered you, but you don't do that by hurting or hindering others. I'm not going to feel bad for a 24-year-old who people want to create sympathy and excuses for her words and actions because she didn't grow up with her black dad. There are white people who have 2 white parents who aren't racist or overtly insensitive to minorities and other people. It comes to a certain point in your young adult life, and honestly probably before that, where you know right from wrong. 12-year-olds know not to discriminate people based on their skin color, nationality, sexuality, or whatever it is. Daddy issues doesn't apply here, okay? Daddy issues is when you're dating a man 10 to 20 years your senior because your dad wasn't there and you're seeking an older father figure. Daddy issues is when you allow your man or your boyfriend to continuously mistreat you in some way because you've never been shown how to be treated by a man. Daddy issues is not being racist. Daddy issues is not being currently and remotely disrespectful to any minority or marginalized group of people, especially not currently in 2020. That's not daddy issues. I'm off that, okay? I'm not doing the, well, she didn't have her black dad, so that's why she is. How about we hold her white mother accountable due to the fact that she was the one who raised her biracial daughter herself and instilled whatever thoughts, mindsets, and disrespectful thought processes that she has for black people onto her child. And all this time I thought she was actually from South Africa. I didn't know that Coon Cat was actually from California. So this girl is American. She understands how black people are seen in this country. Daddy issues is not an excuse, and I'm not buying that. So point number 4 is her apology. Let's read this malarkey before we cut it because I've never seen a more failed attempt for sympathy in my years of covering celebrity stories on YouTube. She says, I want to address what's been happening on Twitter. I've used public chat rooms to socialize since I was a child. I shouldn't have been on some of those chat room sites, but I personally have never been involved in any racist conversations. I'm so sorry to everyone that I offended. I'm a black woman. Half of my family is black from South Africa, and I'm very proud of where I come from. As for the old song that resurfaced, it was in no way tied to anything outside of my own personal experience. It was written in response to people who often use that term to hurt me. I made an attempt to flip its meaning, but recognized that it was a bad decision to use the term in my music. I understand my influence and impact, and I'm taking this very seriously. I love you all, and I'm sorry for upsetting or hurting any of you. That's not my character, and I'm determined to show that to everyone moving forward. Thank you. Oh my God. So this dumbass girl called herself a black woman. Like, let me just drag her that ass for a second because she is really crazy. Doja Cat, shut your nutter butter peanut butter doodoo bird head ass up, okay? Because the audacity and the disrespect is at an ultimate high. I'm so irritated because you sit here and say you're mixed and you're a biracial woman, and you've gone off on people letting them know that you have a white mother all throughout your career, but now somehow you're a black woman. No, it does not work that way, okay? This is the bullshit I be talking about. You don't just pick and choose, and even if you do, you don't shit on black people, black culture, and black problems all your life just to turn around and try to gain sympathy for the very same people it is proven that you do not like or want to be a part of. What did I say earlier that her tweet said? Thinking about being black can make any sensible person depressed. And had she stopped there, I could have maybe, just maybe, seen where she was coming from, because yes, being black in America does have its downs and brings about a multitude of sad and or melancholic experiences that we cannot avoid sometimes. But Coon Cat continued and said, wouldn't being white make so much more sense? Life would actually have value. Like, bitch, have a stadium full of seats, because one, you're not black, two, you're literally trying to unfairly straddle the fence of your race, and three, because no, okay? Because no. How many times I have to tell y'all? Because no. Like someone on Twitter said, how is Doja Cat sorry for doing shit just a week ago? That's not her character. Well, it was last week, sis, okay? Like, come on now. Like, at the end of the day, she was in a video chat with white supremacists. And even if we're reaching and those men aren't white supremacists, you refer to yourself as the N-word with the hard R. What black person does that? Okay, not one. The N-word was taken back by black people and is used in a different speech and meaning in current times. So why would you resort back to its original context and call yourself that, especially if you say you're a mixed and half white person? What sense does that make? Which one is it? She then says, I'm a black woman. Half of my family is black and from South Africa. I'm proud of where I'm from. Girl, you have admitted to never meeting your dad, who is black, and only dating white men, and you were raised by your white mother. Please express to me how you were a black woman now. Okay, in my high school teacher voice, I'll wait. And when she said that she made an attempt to flip the meaning of the Didn't Do Nothing song, at least I can give her credit for acknowledging her wrong here. She's wrong nonetheless, but at the very least, she admits she's wrong in this part of her bullshit apology. Overall, cancel culture doesn't work. I told y'all in the past that I support call-out culture, not cancel culture, meaning call-out culture to call out people and their nonsense. No one is perfect and we all make mistakes, but there's a difference in this case that these tweets and feelings are from a recent version of Doja Cat, okay? This is not an old version of Doja Cat. This is her. This is the real work. And someone also tweeted, does Doja Cat not know that she did an interview with Paper Magazine in December of 2019 where she admitted to using offensive language in order to fit in those explicitly ignorant chat rooms on Tiny Chat? Unless the interviewer is misquoting her on her Paper Magazine article, she is lying in her apology, which is very true. This is the same girl who black people, black women specifically, supported to bring her to a #1 on Billboard. Not to mention when Billboard tweeted about her song Say So in the Savage remix, the headline said, for the first time in history, 4 black women topped the Billboard charts. People were clapping and carrying on. And I was there like, okay, well, 3 of them are black, 1 is biracial, but let me let them have their moment. She didn't correct Billboard. She didn't tell Billboard, oh no, I'm biracial. She didn't say that. She soaked up the recognition of being the top tier type of black looking girl amongst black women when all this time she's been a Coon Cat weirdo. Her apology and her live stream addressing the situation is ridiculous and full of shit. And even though she makes some good music, I'm cool on Coon Cat. Okay, it is what it is. I'm cool on her. Then some of the internet, I'm sure it wasn't black people, but still, the hashtag We're Sorry Doja was trending as if anyone that took an opposing approach to her nonsense should be sorry for anything. Like, absolutely not. I know people want me to talk about who's at fault, that we shouldn't put on this K, but I didn't care about that, okay? I'm not going to point the finger solely at black men when a lot of black women also supported her too. We're not going to do that. At least I'm not. When she is in our space trying to get accolades and praise from black women just to shit on us in private, my support from her can be revoked without having to shift the blame and deflect from the fact that Doja Cat is a coon-ass, disrespectful, nut-ass, fake-ass girl who should not be given sympathy at all. And I said what the fuck I said. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. What are your thoughts on this situation? I do apologize that it took me forever to get this video out, but nonetheless, you guys knew I was going to come with the drag, and you guys knew I was going to come with the tea, and you guys knew I was going to come with the facts, okay? Don't forget to follow me on all my social media networks, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.